Inshallah, brothers. Look, a holy war can begin. Facebook has said that it is allowed to invade Russia now.
To temporarily allow calls for violence. That's funny.
It is funny. I genuinely cannot get over how much of a thing this conflict has become. Like, everyone... I turned on the television for the first time in, 6 months yesterday, and I was watching, a random television channel. It had one of those stupid-ass programs where they chase, fat people out into the woods, and they go, fat people, become small, and they go, no, give me cookies, and they withhold the cookies. And up in the right corner, there's a tiny little fucking Ukrainian flag, and I'm just like, God, it's literally everywhere now. It has become the only thing that is anywhere.
You mean COVID?
Well, that too, I guess. The second thing. God damn it. COVID normalized the thing being everywhere, didn't it? Help me.
It did. And it also normalized people pressing the like button, too.
It's true as well. Everyone should press the like button.
Good.
But yes, this is... Oh, God. I hate the corporations getting involved in this. How fucking... Oh, God. Right, it's overused as shit, right? Saying everything is 1984, everything is fucking Orwellian. But how Orwellian is this? Facebook comes out with the official statement, yes, we have a minute of hate now. Everyone, go ahead, scream at the Russians.
I want them all to die. This is cancer. The world has become absolutely sickening because it sucks, right? The war sucks because we have Ukrainian friends who are fucking now, we've lost contact with. We've got Russian friends who we still have contact with, and it sucks for them because everything there is falling apart.
Yep. There's no winners in this conflict as far as I'm concerned. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just annoyed by how it's being used right now. The internet was a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Now, today we're not going to talk too much about the ongoing thing, because I'm sure everyone else is plenty happy covering the thing. Hell, I myself have a couple of things covering the thing coming up, so not that I'm too much of a high horse there, I guess. But we'll begin today with Sony being a systematically sexist and probably racist and bigoted company, because I don't know if any companies aren't sexist and bigoted and racist these days.
True. Sony. Sony is that one company that you're just every time Microsoft gains ground against them, you're like, you know what? That's a good thing. Sony is just evil.
And of course, Sony is also one of those companies that when Activision Blizzard was getting stepped on from every side for their sexism, they were like, oh God, it's horrifying. How could they? It's disgusting. 5 minutes later, you're being sued for sexual harassment, Sony. Any comments? No.
Yeah.
You get what you fucking deserve, don't you? You do.
Happens sometimes. Sometimes you get what you deserve. Other times, you don't.
Tragically. Initially, the lawsuit was launched by a single woman who made all kinds of, the usual allegations that she was being passed up for promotions, etc. And apparently one particularly Chad Sony executive would just leave the room when she was the only one there. She's like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be a rapist today.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that one. The one where anytime she came into the room, he left because he's like, nope. So he's going to be accused.
I know you. I'm not being in a room alone with you. I need witnesses. I just imagine him leaning out of the hallway going like, I need witnesses here. Someone, anyone.
That's sad, isn't it? This is the society we created.
Only mildly sad, Kyle. Only mildly.
Mildly funny though.
And Sony, of course, after stating that they listen and believe all reminiscences, obviously, they have now re-evaluated their position and have asked that the original lawsuit be dismissed because it is well, it's not true, because this is not a woman. This is something else, clearly. Unfortunately for them, 7 more women have now rallied behind the first one and also accused Sony of, well, the same thing as the first one. Now, I'm not going to be so bold as to suggest that there might be some narrative conformity going on here, but
what? There's like 7 of them, so it's like 7 people. They don't matter because like it's a Sony we're talking about, a corporation with how many thousands of employees? 7 people don't matter. They're just cogs. They're like little shitty cogs in the machine. That's how these things work. That's the reality.
But they're shitty little cogs in the machine that can deprive the machine of many millions of dollars in settlement fees. As we've got some more allegations, of course. One Sony executive told a woman that she just needs to marry rich, and that would fix her problems. After which she followed up with, "I find that in general, women can't take criticism."
Oh my god. Calm down.
I mean, I'm liking this executive, whoever he is, I guess. Oh heavens! They're asking for, I think it was $100 million right now, which is the opening bid, $100 million. So rather than marry rich, they're going to settle rich. You know, it's something else. You know, it's a different approach. I can appreciate that.
Can you?
I can. I absolutely can.
We'll see.
Another woman was she was asked out to have drinks together with other colleagues, and she had refused. After which another employee told her that her boss had totally said he was going to try to hit that.
Yeah, but that's hearsay. That's nothing.
The thing is too, like this is such fucking low-level bitch-ass nonsense. Like, okay, a dude tells another dude that he was going to try to hit that. Like, okay, so he was going to try and hook up with this woman. All right.
Yeah, consensually.
This is now. Yes, he wasn't saying like, yes, I was going to get her drunk, then drag her out in the bushes and have my way with her. No, this is in the olden days, Kyle, we would refer to this as wooing someone.
He was trying to woo her, maybe just to get in her panties. That's entirely possible, but
short-term wooing.
But you never know. Could have developed into something great. Who knows? Maybe the best marriage of her life. Now she'll die alone on the streets. I like that 90-degree angle there, you know, or just like straight down.
little drastic, but very well.
I'm over dramatizing it, but that's just for the meme. You could.
But the primary complaint is, of course, that they're not getting promoted. Possibly because they can't take criticism. I don't know.
They probably can't. I mean, the thing is, when you have somebody in your team and they can't respond well to criticism, often here's what happens, at least on our side of things from my own experiences, is they just get the boot. Because if you can't respond to criticism and change things or work on things, then you're not gonna be workable. You're like, there's nothing salvageable about you. You're an actual like mental drain on everyone else. You have to be removed because you're dragging everyone else down.
Well, that is one of the side effects as well, as Activision Blizzard also began purging their ranks very, very, very quietly after the announcement that they were being bought up by Microsoft. And of course, let's add in the caveat as well. Who knows? Maybe Sony is full of sexist pricks. I mean, they're Sony. I have no particular love for them. In fact, I happily assume they're full of sexist pricks. And even if they weren't, if they are to be robbed of $100 million in damages, couldn't happen to a better company.
Yep. Just watch as Nintendards and fucking micro cunts continue to blow past them. Sony is really losing the little console war thing, and I find it kind of funny because they're all assholes, but when one of them starts losing, it's just funny still.
At least you get to enjoy their losses.
It's like, hey.
Oh, poor little Sony. Shouldn't have virtue signal, I guess.
Shouldn't have been retarded, but that's too hard for them.
Indeed. And that's not the only thing that's going on. There are other people being enormous cucks as well, unfortunately, with DuckDuckGo being... Well, it was the alternative, wasn't it? That's the problem. The alternative never turns out to be much of an alternative, does it?
Yeah,
They have now decided to bend the knee.
That's the thing. Anytime any of these guys get up, they're like, oh, but use Brave or use blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to use Google because they're all going to turn into the same thing. They all are in the same place. They're all in Silicon Valley. They're all going to be corrupt anyways. They're just going to try to appeal to us and be like, oh, we're totally based. And then as they get their money, like, well, now that we have influence, we don't need you anymore. It's always what happens. Every single time. Why bother?
Why bother? As DuckDuckGo put out a series of tweets confirming that they would be deranking and delisting companies and services, etc., from Russia, because it's the thing. Everyone must do the thing.
Yeah, it's annoying because honestly, the whole like Ukrainian Russian tension thing has boiled over to such a degree that we have people who are unironically harassing Russians for just being Russians. Like, the Russian people aren't at fault. And neither are the Ukrainian people. They're just caught up in some sick, twisted game that some oligarchs want to play. And this is sad, because I've seen so many artists on Twitter who are just being deplatformed. They're losing access to PayPal. They're losing, ways to pay themselves. They're going to start starving. Oh, yay, there's the one starving. Are the oligarchs starving because of this? No. Oh, the only people that they managed to punish were the innocent people. Tragic.
Now, in a little bit of DuckDuckGo's defense here, I've been seeing some rumblings that apparently this was some kind of official government instruction right now. That they had to derank stuff from Russia as a part of, the government's actions on the thing. If that was the case, I would have expected, because I don't doubt it necessarily, but I would have expected DuckDuckGo, even if they had to abide by that, right? They should have come out and said, all right, literally the fucking government is forcing us to do this. We don't really have a choice. They'll just pull our servers or block us from the internet. Like, we have to. We don't like it, but we have to. Instead, they present it as if this is their own idea. It's like, oh, yes, no, we hashtag stand with Ukraine. Do you, though? Do you fucking really? I do hate that thing. Like, most people didn't know where Ukraine was a couple weeks ago, and now suddenly, hashtag I stand with Ukraine. Do you know anything about Ukraine?
Public opinion on polls, from polls that I've seen, that went from Ukraine being literally nothing to people to being viewed on the same level of France and Britain in the course of a few days.
Weird.
Favorably. I mean, it's good for the Ukrainians, I guess. They're viewed favorably, but that's just how they're viewed.
They pulled off an incredible social media campaign, if nothing else, that's for damn sure. It's also been made, YouTube also announced quite recently that it's now against their terms of service to dispute, what was it? Proven acts of violence. So if you're saying that Russia didn't bomb something, well, I guess YouTube will just pull your shit now.
Yep. Yep.
I guess.
I've seen that. I think I've seen Razor on Twitter. He's talking about some stuff has been going on with YouTube, taking down his stuff. And honestly, like, the whole issue should just be avoided for our own safety.
We have no idea how the terms of service will evolve on this matter. That is it's a bit of a problem.
Because here's what happens anytime somebody's like, you need to die on a hill. You disappear and now you have 0 influence. You have to play the long game. Or not play at all.
Especially as all of the search engines do bend the knee, and I'm sure the various alternatives to YouTube will start doing so as well in short order. It's just dumb. And now I gotta find another search engine, and god damn it, but we're starting to run out of search engines. I've been trying to use Yandex, ironically enough, a little bit, which is a Russian search engine. And I'm kind of looking at this go like, okay, we are now at the point where the Russian search engine is probably more open than the Western one.
Well, as far as we know.
I mean, I'm sure Yandex would make it problematic to search for up-to-date information on Ukraine as well right now. I haven't tried, but I have a sneaking suspicion. Yeah, nevertheless, like, we have lost all moral superiority on this matter.
I think we still hold some moral superiority. We can still hold protests in the streets, barely. In Russia, you can't.
Sure, they are a little bit quicker on the baton, I suppose.
And dragging you off to camps. So we're getting closer. That's the problem. Because we remember the Canada thing. I assume you remember it too. Yes. We're getting closer, but we still have more freedoms at the moment.
At least it took the Canadians, a week or so to resort to the cavalry.
That's true. The Russians had maybe an hour.
Let's see. I just tried on Yandex searching for Ukraine, and it certainly has a bit more of a Russian slant, shall we say? But
I can imagine. That's the issue, though. Things have become so polarized. No matter what, we're only going to get propaganda.
It does seem like that might indeed be the case.
That's also why I don't really I'm not looking into the Ukrainian conflict anymore, because most of what's coming out is lies. Lies after lies after lies after lies. Propaganda is everywhere for both sides.
God damn it, though. Like, it does, and another thing too. Here's another thing, right? Even if DuckDuckGo didn't bend the knee here, there's a very little interesting side point here that should be made as well. Because DuckDuckGo doesn't track any of their users, right? They store no user data whatsoever, none of that. How are they going to de-rank stuff from Russia exactly?
This conflict is such a nightmare. If you only this conflict is going to greatly affect my actual work, though. What a nightmare.
That is the life of a kid.
They're not going to respect U.S. laws at all anymore. See, Russia is a country in which you could get to work with you. Now what fucking the government's just done is they've managed to make them basically Iran 2.0 or China 2.0, where it's really down to the individual. Now, if you can get a hold of the individual, maybe they'll remove stuff, but fuck me. What a nightmare. As if I didn't have enough problems. Work is going to be hell from the future.
That's fine. Your work is not particularly significant anyways.
It is to me. It's what pays the bills.
Bills. They're just notes of paper, Kyle. You can ignore them.
Tragedy.
I do, but the point remains, though, like, this means that DuckDuckGo has been lying, because they must be tracking some user data. Otherwise, they would have no way to recognize that a page or a site is in Russia, and no way to delist or derank it.
List and derank it?
Yeah, that's what DuckDuckGo is going to do to Russian sites.
Isn't they're not going to, or they're going to?
No, they're going to, but if they're, like, they claim to not be gathering any user data whatsoever. how the hell can if they're not gathering any user data, Kyle? How the fuck do they know where you're from?
That's a good point.
Yes, it is a good point. Thank you for catching up.
No, I'm thinking. I'm thinking if there's some sort of like other thing that they're trying to do motive-wise. Because perhaps we've seen corporations do this sometimes, and actually not sometimes, a lot of times, where a company will say something publicly but do something completely different.
I mean, in this case, I would assume this would have been an excellent opportunity for DuckDuckGo to score a lot of points by simply going like, yeah, no, we have to do this, but we don't want to. Instead, they made it sound as if this was their idea to begin with.
It's entirely possible. I'm just thinking that I'm trying to think if there's another angle there, but I don't know. I mean, it's really going to boil down to, do they do anything? If they say one thing and do nothing, then that could be pretty telling. Because you mentioned earlier that it was maybe the government coming down to crack down on them, which is possible. But a corporation might be like, "Oh yeah, well sure, we'll totally do something about it," and then they'll be like, "Yeah, no." How are you gonna know?
I mean, I hope they don't do anything about it. Because I've tried using Yandex a little bit now, and it's kind of slow. Though it's really reminding me of the 2000s internet in many ways.
I can believe that. Hey man, you want to go to have a flashback? There you go. Be like, wow, it's the old internet. Old forums and blog posts. They're so archaic, and they're interesting to look at when you look at them in retrospect. How things
but you could also find things on them.
True. The internet was a different place back then. It was a messier place, but what? Find something?
Let me try the old test here. Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's the Google one.
Gaggle.
And let me try the Yandex one.
Gaggle. But your test isn't going to be perfect because your internet's about as good as a potato.
Yeah, no, it's affected by the Google thing as well. I tried the old test where if you go to Google and you search white couple, you'll get tons of mixed race couples. The same thing happens on Yandex.
I guess. It could be using the same framework.
Quite possibly. Goddamn DuckDuckGo. Shame on you. Absolutely shame on you.
That's just a weird thing. I'd never actually Google that. I'd be like, white couples, don't look at them. Bet you're a white couple.
No, it was the thing that popped up several years ago where it's like, if you Google this, you'll get something very different. And it's true.
Oh boy, do I really like looking at white couples. Spare time. Oh, that sounds so creepy. I love it. But that's true, though. That just goes to show how skewed things are.
Let's see. They have fixed the censorship is one a little bit. At least to me, censorship is good is the third result, I guess. I also do get censorship and it's necessary in a modern society, but oh well, such is life.
If you look up blonde braids or in anything other than Yandex, you'll get nothing but black women.
Such
But
is
why?
life.
What if I don't want to look at black women? What if I want to look at green women? Can't think about that.
I'll have to paint them or use a filter, I guess.
What do you mean? If you stay dead long enough, you'll turn green. Ha! Ha! Got him. Actually, I don't know if people turn green when they die. I think they turn like
there
gray.
might be something in that whole government angle too, though, because I've been noticing that a lot of the companies have been in more lockstep than usual. The Deutsche Bank had to pull out of Russia as well recently, and Disney's been upping the political ante too. Maybe they're seeing this as a lovely opportunity. I don't know if you've seen this whole thing, Kyle, but Florida introduced the anti-grooming bill, and Disney is, of course, in opposition to the anti-grooming bill because I guess it's a core part of their business model. I don't know.
I mean, what's in the anti-grooming bills? There's something in there that, like, these... That's the problem with these bills, though. Sometimes they're, like, chock full of shit. So I'd have to see it.
Well, yes. That's kind of the conflict here. The progressives call it the Don't Say Gay bill. We call it the Anti-Grooming bill. And basically, the main thing is that it makes it illegal for schools to have like homosexuality taught in classrooms in general, well, beyond sex ed, you know? And it's also to keep LGBTQ, well, talking points out of the schools.
Well, that's good,
Plus
because
critical race theory, etc.
the thing is about LGBTQ, right, is lesbians, gays, bis, and all them, they're not under one flag. It's done to group them together to make them into a political entity.
Well, yes, LGBTQ is a political term.
Also, where the fuck's the Q?
Queer? Oh,
The
that
fuck
was
does
after
that
they.
mean?
No, queer. It's the it's like the English slang word for gay, pretty much.
Yeah, but then what's the point? We already got gay in there. Why are we adding letters to this?
Because queer is non-gendered, I guess.
You know, the LGBT thing should be just disbanded as a whole. Number one, it's highly fucking retarded. And number two, it basically forces all these people, lesbians, gays, regardless of their individuality, defining them only by their sexuality, and then using them as a political tool. This is
good, Kyle.
not
fine.
good. Free people need to have independence.
I don't know about that. Independence is overrated. Live in the pod, eat the bugs.
The thing is, in schools, they shouldn't teach homosexuality because homosexuality is a trait that develops because of some sort of, I don't know, chemical imbalance or something. So that's going to happen down the road. And if that happens to somebody, like, I like penis, then that's good for them. Then they can decide to like penis later. Not the school's job to tell them that, though.
Well, that is kind of the question, as this is, of course, also going on in other states, and corporations are taking a stance against that as well, as EA, Gearbox, and Microsoft have started protesting a Texas law against the LGBTQ as well. And to specify LGBTQ in this is, again, the political stance rather than the individuals. Now, this one specifically is, to me, this one's more obviously bad, and the companies should be more flagellated, because this specific Texan law here, as far as I understand, is to make it illegal for parents to transition their children.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
Yes, it's very fucked up.
That's unethical. Oh my god.
It's very unethical.
It's like, here's the problem, and often I tell people that, and they're like, yeah, but what do you think about male genital mutilation? I'm like, that's unethical too. Just like female, like, you shouldn't be fucking cutting up people until they're, you know, mature. Now, of course, there's always a medical thing where it's like, okay, they have cancer. All right, get that shit out of them, because that'll kill them. But like, start defiling them and cutting them up into little pieces like they're fucking, I don't know, some sort of piece of meat to be sliced and diced is wrong.
Well, this is the next step in classifying transgenderism away from a mental disorder to a physical disorder. Because back in the day, it was a mental disorder. And I think it still should be a mental disorder, because it is your brain that something is fucky-wucky with. Now, at that point, it means that it's not a medical emergency. It poses no threat to your life. Hey, let's even take the argument that it lowers your quality of life, because you're truly a woman trapped in a man's body or something. Okay, fine. But it's not a medical emergency, and you're a child. You are not old enough to decide this for yourself. Children are not old enough to decide whether or not they are allowed to have cookies after dinner. They are certainly not old enough to decide this. Neither are their parents, because the person who is responsible for this at the end of the day is the kid, and it cannot make an informed decision. And if they reach the age of 18 and then still want to go ahead with it, go ahead, no problems, but no transitioning children. And you know what? Yes, Child Protective Services should come and take away your fucking child at that point.
Because you want to cut them up. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up if you ask me.
It's an unnecessary medical procedure.
It is very unnecessary. There's no reason to do it. Anytime you do it, go under the knife, there's always a chance you won't wake up. Unnecessary risks should not be taken.
It should not. And again, the companies are getting more political. Fuck me. Like a year ago, when Cyberpunk came out, right? I was starting to look at the world and I was thinking to myself, we are kind of heading in that direction, aren't we? And I started mentioning it like half jokingly. But my god, we are actually heading in that direction, are we not? Like, never before have corporations been so openly and blatantly political. And we've now taken the next step, right? We don't just have corporations saying that, they protest these laws. They are also going to seize monetary donations to politicians. They are going to start voting with their considerable wallets in the legalized corruption of America. And even worse, they're now getting involved in the warfare of sovereign nations, choosing sides in conflicts. How long until we actually have fucking PMCs? Like proper PMCs, run and governed by corporations.
Well, look at it this way, Barch. We can, that one Mimi game, Metal Gear Revengeance. Now we can listen to the music and it'll make sense because the world will actually be like that.
Pretty much.
Yay!
How long until the Wagner Group realizes that Russia isn't the breadwinner it was once and starts offering their contracts to Microsoft?
They're like, actually, I always wanted to fight for Windows 12.
Now there's copyright enforcement, Kyle. You're like, God damn it, the Russians will make my job harder. But Microsoft is about to make it a lot easier with a fucking private army.
Beautiful.
That's the future, isn't it? Like the Wagner Group kicks down your door to check your Windows version.
This looks what's this uTorrent here? Snaps neck. I like that. The problem is even I use uTorrent. So don't snap my neck.
Well, too bad for you, I guess.
Some of them mods, they only upload their stuff on uTorrent. True. Fact even.
Goddamn bloody fucking Cyberpunk. At least the real life version will be less buggy than the PC one, I suppose.
When is Microsoft going to start claiming its own territory in the United States?
I mean, hell, they practically already do.
So, like, this state is now under the Microsoft's protection. Oh, as long as Microsoft defeats Apple, I don't care. I just don't want to be under Apple. You have to install Mac OS. No.
From the depressing to the slightly more cheerful. Let's let an old classic, Kyle. An old classic.
But why? Why would you do this?
Because it's very thematic, Kyle.
Elden Ring not having a pause button is not a question of getting good. It doesn't have a pause button.
To that, Kyle?
It doesn't have a pause button? I thought it did. Guess I've never paused in the middle of fighting.
Have you tried pausing in the middle of a fight, Kyle?
No, I can't do two things at the same time.
Did it ever occur to you that pausing in the middle of the fight would somehow be a thing or something you wanted?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if I have to go to the bathroom,
you can't hold it for another 5 minutes.
I mean, some of those boss fights aren't 5 minutes.
The fucking bladder control is just like, I feel I really need to piss, but let me try this boss fight. 10 minutes later, God damn it.
Actually, pause buttons are a simple quality of life feature. Adding different difficulty settings is against the game's design philosophy, so that makes sense.
Well, Kyle, do you think a pause button is his actual argument here, though?
It isn't. It's going to segue into something else.
Yes, it's going to ask for... See, that's the thing. I love this article because it's like, it draws you in and goes like, okay, I'd like a pause button. And you kind of like...
That's reasonable.
Like you. I didn't know it didn't have a pause button. I mean, I'm fair with that. And then immediately afterwards, how about we make enemies hit less hard?
Yeah, that's not... See, the pause button I can get behind because, like, you never know. Something. There's 1,000 things that could happen in real life where you need to pause, just real quick and take care of something. That's fine. But, yeah, it's typical that they would use that to segue into another thing.
And the best part is, he never actually mentions the pause feature in the rest of the article at all. Like, it is literally the thin wedge, the lead in to go like, I have a reasonable argument, and then goes, actually, easy mode.
Yeah, no. The thing is,
because games journalists, this happens every
It
fucking
does.
time a Dark Souls game comes out.
It does. Having difficulty modes is nice for variety in games, but it's not a necessary function because generally every game, video game, will always be designed around a core difficulty. This general experience is normally the default difficulty setting, normally. 99% of the time. I've played a few games where it's actually like, no, you're actually supposed to play in the hardest mode. I'm like, well, why didn't you make that the default mode then? If that's for the intended experience, because I played through it on the other one.
Well, you failed at getting the proper experience. Now you're going to have to play through it again, dumbass.
Yep, that happened once. But yeah, no, it's good that games have a default setting, so you always play for the intended experience. They just chose not to include it into this game, but I think that's mostly maybe tethered to multiplayer balance, perhaps? Because I think that would definitely affect the multiplayer component if somebody could play it on easy adverse to somebody playing it on medium or hard.
And more importantly, it is the key design of it. Like, look at FromSoft. Look at fucking FromSoft. They can't program their games as it is. And yet, games journalists are sitting there like, oh, they could totally program in easy mode. It wouldn't ruin anything. They can't program in anti-aliasing without breaking the half of the game.
I think the worst thing about this whole thing isn't actually, like, how do I say it? The worst part about this is the games journalists, without a doubt. Because the games journalists shut down any form of criticism that this game actually needs in order to improve. Because the games journalists, number one, don't give a shit about this game, and most of their quote-unquote criticism is that they don't like this game and they want it to be a different game. That's not valid criticism, because there's good and bad criticism. That's shit criticism, because it pushes the game into a completely different genre. The kind of criticism that this game needs desperately, because it's actually kind of it's filled with lots of problems, bugs, and other issues. It often gets overlooked or shouted down because everyone's like, games journals. So games journals have polluted the argument. And I blame them for this.
Because they are living pollutants, Kyle. It's just how it is.
They're filthy and they must be expunged, chat. What does that mean? I'm not going to clarify or elaborate.
Don't worry. At some point, Facebook will realize that it's not Russia that they should be legal to harass.
We'll find out soon enough, Barch.
Don't know about soon, but eventually.
But yeah,
and this is also topical, because here's the thing, right? Look at little Kyle here. Look at him. Look at him. Stare deep into his little eyes.
No.
He has been playing Elden Rings. And every time he does, my mod chat fills up with just general critique of him. It's just page upon page of people. Look at him. He's being an idiot again. God
Your
damn it,
mod chat?
Yep.
You know, I directly respond to people who talk to me in my server. Talking about me behind my back isn't going to help anyone.
It is going to help, because they want to amuse themselves. And they do so.
Wow. See, I don't
because Kyle's not very good at Souls games.
No, I'm terrible. I've even said that. I'm really, really, really bad at them, and I actually am not a big fan of them, but I was paid to play them, so I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm going to try. And I killed the 2 little baby bosses, which was hard enough as is.
And even then, like, Kyle refuses to engage with most of the game's mechanics. It's a point of pride for him at this point.
Yeah. True.
Yet he doesn't complain that the game itself isn't wrong for this. He's like, oh, this needs an easy mode.
No, it doesn't. It's made for a certain group of people, and it should continue to be made for them. Because I know what it's like to have games that were made for me be taken away from me, like Command & Conquer. I know what that's like. I know what it's like with Supreme Commander. Those were my games, and people changed them, and that took them away from me. I know what that's like, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. Sucks when you don't get games that are made for you anymore, or the games that you like don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but the games you like kind of deserved a lot of the shit they got too. I gotta say.
Yeah, yes. But I liked them. I didn't want them to die. I didn't want, like, I wanted Warcraft 3 Reforged to be good, and it was fucking awful.
Oh God! See, I told you. You and Fag Dog as well. Like I told you, it's gonna be shit. It's like no, it's just remastering it. It can't be shit.
No, Blizzard has a good track record. And then Blizzard's like, not anymore. They point tap sign. It says Activision. The problem is I made the mistake of forgetting that Blizzard doesn't exist anymore. The name Blizzard is just a mask Activision wears.
It is. And yet you were fooled. You were fooled. And you gave them money to poop on you. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Forge Alliance Forever exists, that's true. And they're making a game, the FAF devs, and I hope it's good.
I would genuinely be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be averse to being surprised,
Listen,
but I would be.
It's all we have. We have them and we have Bar for the Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander's spiritual successors. There's no one else. Everyone's dead.
Kyle. Don't worry, they're remaking Red Alert 2. It's fine.
They might be. They might be. And that's only because Petroglyph pulled all their teams from their previous projects to work on a secret project with a publisher. A lot of people are like, Star Wars Empire at War 2? And while I'd like that, no. Shut the fuck up. We need Red Alert 2 and Tib Sun Remaster. Because we can play Empire at War to this day. Red Alert 2 and Tib Sun are kind of a pain in the ass to get to run on modern systems. They need to be fixed. They need to be remastered.
It'll be fine. Alternatively, they're working on Red Alert 4, and it's going to be absolutely awful.
No! Actually, I'd like a Red Alert 4, but make it good, though.
Yeah, made by... Would you like a Red Alert 4 made by Petroglyph, Kyle, with their track record? Is that something you want?
Hey, Petroglyph, when they were under EA supervision, did a pretty good job. They had to be beaten and raped for beaten. The fact that Petroglyph and EA work together is one of those things where it's like, uh-oh, are they going to start fighting? Because back when Petroglyph was Victory Games in Westwood, EA slowly drained the life out of them. Oh, no.
As they deserved, Kyle. And you know who else deserves it as well? You know who else really deserves it, Kyle? You know who? Creative Assembly.
Ah, speaking of Creative Assembly.
I just want to point out now. Because Kyle has another pointless piece of stats, which doesn't matter at all, but my stat is good, okay? Total War Warhammer 3 has been out now for a long time. Almost a month, in fact. And guess what? It's still at mixed. It's still a failure. Holy shit, people have actually realized that the third piece of overpriced DLC wasn't worth it. There is a God, Kyle. He's above. He's smiling on us right now whilst laughing that there's still no workshop support.
It's true. There's no workshop support. But because of their terrible designs in their game, their player fall-off is actually worse than Rome 2 now, if I remember right. I've seen that circulating, and it doesn't surprise me, because the campaign is absolutely awful. That has to do with their fucking silly little warp gate things that they open up. That ruined the game's mid to late game campaign. Because they're idiots. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's gone down to 62%. Yes! That's good. The thing is, they need to have their nose rubbed in it so that they know how to make better games. Stop doing things that people don't like. These mini campaign things, I wouldn't be opposed to them if they actually put some effort into them, sort of like the ones in Attila. Charlemagne was kind of fun. And the last Roman one was kind of neato cheeto because it had unique mechanics. But when they did the Beast Empire, you know, the Beastmen versus the Empire in Total War 1, that was lazy. That was just shit. That was actually garbage. That's actually the worst thing ever.
I've always hated their mini campaigns.
Actually, I didn't mind some of them. Some of them are fun.
That's because you're a simp-ass bitch.
What? Medieval 2, though? The Americans' Conquest one was the best.
That wasn't a mini-campaign.
That is a mini-campaign.
Eat my ass, you little scoundrel. That was no mini-campaign.
Yeah, there's 4 mini-campaigns
for Medieval
Kingdom.
2. Yeah, no, that was... no.
Yeah, but they're mini-flavor campaigns. No, I'm right.
Sit down.
They're flavor
you
packs.
You are wrong on this.
No, they're flavor.
Kingdoms was 4 full new campaigns, new units, new balancing, new mechanics, new fucking religions. It wasn't no goddamn mini campaign.
Yeah, they're mini.
Vile heathen child.
Yeah, and they're mini and they're great. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in this.
There is a lot of shame in this. There's as much shame in this as slapping Saga in front of Fall of the Samurai.
That's true, though.
Fall of the Samurai.
Oh, Rise of the Samurai is awful. Don't talk about that. No, this is true.
Everyone forgets about for good reason. It is not true. God damn it.
They are smaller. They're smaller than the base Medieval 2 game. And you know what? That's fine, because they add enough stuff to them, and modders put all those mechanics in a revamped Medieval 2 campaign, base campaign.
I mean, fuck, they're barely even small. The Teutonic campaign's fucking massive. The Viking one's fucking massive. Britannia. These are not mini campaigns, you munch. God damn.
That's not a Viking one. There's a Britain one.
Yeah, I remember there's Vikings in there. Norway's in that one. Screw you.
They don't count, though.
They very much so do. In fact, they're pretty much the only ones that do count.
It's okay if you're all wrong. Only I know the truth.
See, even chat is just, oh my god.
Chat will simp for you.
Every time I think you're becoming a normal human being, Kyle, you do this to me.
Yes, but I'm not wrong, though. You can't even prove me wrong.
It's that pain in my heart. It's like I see a dog I've raised for so long. I've petted it, I've combed it, I've given it food, and there it is, dragging its ass over my carpet with its front paws.
You're all just mad because I'm right. They're smaller because there's a lot less cultures in them. Like even the Americas one, there's like the Spanish culture, and there's like 2-3 sub-Central American, Mesoamerican cultures. Like they don't have that much variety to them because I've actually played through them. They're still fun though, but by the end you get like, whoa, they run into the Shogun 2 problem. Like need more meat. Though the Crusade one's pretty good, but that's because they have flamethrowers. Those things are so broken. I love them. Well, specifically when they work.
Let's just, and actually, instead of responding, let me just start reading chat here. Kyle is being cringe. Arch, please get the cane.
Yeah, but none of you actually have played it in the last, like, fucking couple of days. You're all sitting there
Kyle
going
Karen,
like...
the same in my books. Gibbs is too low, too shame.
Whatever. Brian E., this is Barchman channel, so we all support him. I'll remember that, Brian, when you're simping in my stream later, you little whore.
God damn it.
I like that one, though. Cope. I'm stealing that for later. Whatever. We can still agree that Medieval 2 is the best Total War ever, and still is, to this date. I just can't get over how good Medieval 2 is. I hate it. I hate the fact that it's the best one. That means like every single one we've gotten so far isn't as nearly as good.
They aren't. Like objectively, they are not. Everything. Oh god. Oh my god, man. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it because the more I think about it, the more I start making lists in my head. And I realize literally everything has become less. Even that, Three Kingdoms, right? Everyone was like, Three Kingdoms, oh my god, the diplomacy's back. Oh my god, the factions are doing good diplomacy. Oh my god. It's literally the diplomacy system from Medieval 2 with plus minuses hidden.
Well, unhidden. Wait. But yes. That was actually the best thing they've ever done in terms of diplomacy. That's the best. Because the thing is, the problem with the diplomacy system before is that it's so obtuse. It's like, hey, I want to do a trade agreement. And they're like, no. It's like, okay. It's like mutually beneficial. There's literally no reason we shouldn't. They're like, no, I don't want to do it. Give me 400 denarii. It's like, no, I'm not giving you 400 denarii.
The fucking high watermark of recent Total War is a return to the plus-minus system of diplomacy.
I hope they don't go back, though, because if they go back, that would suck.
It's so shameful. It's so shameful.
You're right, though. Three Kingdoms is the last, or actually, yeah, the most recent Total War where I actually enjoyed the campaign map stuff. I tried Troy. It's awful. I tried Total War 3. That's also awful. Like, Attila's broken and unfinished, and Rome 2 still kind of sucks. With mods, it's okay. Empire's... I don't want to talk about it. Napoleon is better in some ways. And fucking, what's the other Warscape one that I forgot now? Shogun 2. Shogun 2 is probably the best Warscape Total War ever made. It's the only Warscape Total War game that, like, I can look at it and be like, yeah, that's a good one. That's fun.
But you also gotta remember, Shogun 2 is also the smallest Warscape game. Like, Shogun 2 was the company returning to its roots, and they needed to. Like, Shogun 2 was a return to the company's roots, and we accepted it because it was Shogun 2. Like, it's goddamn Japan. We do not necessarily expect all that much in the way of, unit differentials. So long as it's got the Japanese stuff, the little bit of honor culture, everyone's happy. But the problem was, Creative Assembly learned the completely wrong lesson from this. Instead of learning, oh, right, okay, shit, we just need to go back to making good games like Medieval 2 and Shogun 1. Instead, they learn, hold on, we can make less and less features. We can go backwards in time and people will love us for it. Oh, why didn't you tell us this earlier?
The worst thing, right? Attila, I like Attila because it introduced the fire mechanic and which got improved in Three Kingdoms, but never was added to Total War Warhammer. Still, mind you, the city destruction mechanics that were introduced in Attila are still in Three Kingdoms, but they didn't add them to Total War Warhammer. Why not? That bothers the ever-living shit out of me. Like, city destructibility was something that's been missing in a long time. It's the peak of city destructibility is Medieval 2, where you could snipe off, like, the cathedral tower, and, like, it just crumbles to the ground. It's got a cool animation. Like, the buildings in the city are just exploding. Sieges in Medieval 2 felt fucking awesome. Like, there's actually voxel-based damage for citadels, where, like, whatever hit gets damage on the citadel will take damage and blow up. Like, it's cool. And now we look at it and, like, it's gone backwards. Destruction is on par with Rome 1 now. Hey, the buildings get damaged, I guess, but that's about it. There's a poof of smoke and there's no animations. They've reduced the amount of destructibility animations. Blowing up walls looked really, really cool in Medieval 2. And even in Rome 2, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but, at least it crumbled a little bit. That was neato. But, it's gone. It's completely gone now. Like, it's just like smoky dust, and then it's like, and then it's gone. I hate it. Blowing up cities sucks.
And the issue is, too, and return to the point of Total War Warhammer 3, this will teach Creative Assembly nothing. Because this is not a failure. Not really. They've already tricked everyone into purchasing Total War Warhammer 3 for full price. For $60. Like, they're done. The robbers are out the bank months ago. It really genuinely bloody annoys me. Like, CA is just sitting there happy on their pile of money now. And I don't think this is going to have any effect on their next game. That's the problem as well, because people will just brush this aside as just kind of a DLC release. And even worse yet is, I'm calling it now. I've already fucking called it. Like, Lord of the Rings Total War is going to happen, and it's going to happen within 10 years, and nobody's going to care. The thing is going to sell like nothing else has ever sold, and it's probably going to be shit. It's probably going to be a Rome 2 level disaster. And CA will laugh all the way to the bank regardless.
I mean, Rome 2 is still one of the most successful Total Wars to date. Just to remind people, it's also still $60 for Rome 2. $60. Yep. Because that thing still sells so well because it's Rome fucking 2. Because it's got the name Rome in it. It's got Romans in it. Like, people are like, Remanses, we. Also, seriously, for fuck's sake, Three Kingdoms 2 is coming next. That's the next one, and I'm already mad about it. And it's gonna be on the Warscape engine. And I'm gonna be, no, just stop making games on the Warscape engine. I'm sick of it. I hate it. The Warscape engine, it sucks. Unit pathing's awful in cities. They make the city streets like triple wide, and the units still get stuck. They doubled the wall's length, and the units still get stuck. Nothing they've done fixes anything. The units don't work at all. The pathing is garbage. Oh, they get stuck on everything. And when they fight, it just turns into a blob every single cunting time.
Now, chat says Total War My Little Pony. You know what? I'd take it. No, I take it. It'd be fucking hilarious.
We're getting Lord of the Rings Total War, and they're gonna DMCA Third Age Total War before it. I know it. It's gonna be the worst.
They're probably gonna no. The DLC will be the Amazon tie-in or something.
It'll be like, now you can play Rings of Power, and it's like, why did nobody buy it? That's funny.
I bet you the ring will be a superpower. Like Frodo will be able to put on the ring and get like a bonus to stuff.
They did that in, was it Battle for Middle-earth, Rise of the Witch King 2, the expansion for the second one, where you could capture the ring, but you had to like fight Gollum and he would spawn randomly on the map and take the ring back to your side. If the good guys got it, they could spawn Galadriel, and if the bad guys got it, they could spawn Sauron. It was arcadey, but it was kind of fun. You could turn it off. It's like a little capture the flag mode.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they could gamify the ring. I mean, the problem with the ring though is like, if you want to make it like lore accurate, like it need to be like, if you deprive from the forces of evil, so to speak, they're weaker. So you need to basically just keep it from them and then destroy it. Or some shit, I don't know.
No. And it should just be a little stat boost, a 10% stat boost or something. Because again, I will not be happy until J.R.R. Tolkien's entire legacy is as dead and gone as everything else I've ever loved.
No, it won't be. You little doomer. You little black...
It needs to be ground into the dirt beneath the heels of every major corporation.
Chat, if you haven't watched it, Arch made a beautiful video. The other day on the Emperor. I loved it. The sound of sadness and defeatism. I now understand why he's always happy when everything else dies. Because he's become so... His heart is so blackened, so cold. Because what he loved was taken away, and he wants the world to suffer for what he suffers. Just hearing your sadness about the Emperor, yeah, it was fucking great. And now I know the truth. The only reason why you want Tolkien to disappear is because you're mad because the Emperor's a fucking loser now. They've ruined the Emperor. Look at him sit there quiet. He's just mad. He's fuming.
And they will ruin Tolkien too.
Look at them. Look at him.
Nothing you love will remain either.
The Emperor's like, I'm a soy boy now. Yeah.
Tolkien's legacy will not be allowed to survive.
He's so sad, you can tell.
And this is good.
This is why he loves NTR. He loves to see things corrupted. True.
No. NTR is just funny. Like, comedy is something different. If it doesn't have comedy, it's not NTR. Nice and simple.
Oh my god. I still can't get over the fact that GW has actually killed the Emperor as a character. Like, he's such a loser now. Like, why? Why would you take that?
They've taken everything away from him.
They did. They took everything. Like, oh, everything cool. The special chair he had, he crafted himself. No, he just found it in the dirt. What?
His Space Marine Legions, made by a rando.
Some random person.
Some chick.
It's just a miracle that the Imperium formed with him at the center at this point. Oh my god. He's an absolute fucking loser. I can't believe they've absolutely self-destructed themselves. The thing is, it's so easy not to do. Just don't explain it. You win. Easy. Victory. I told you the Horus Heresy was a mistake. Sure, you like the first 3 books, but it led to the problem I predicted. If you explain all the mystery away, sometimes you can't meet expectations. It's like what
sometimes, always.
Halo did the same thing with the Forerunners.
There's almost no, like, the only way you can make the revelation of a mystery good is if you intended to reveal it from the beginning and you wrote a plot line around it.
That way there's kernels of, kernels of truth leading up to it.
Yeah, like the revelation of what turned Horus, for example. That was a good answer to the mystery. What turned him? He was shown a false vision of the future. Well, he was shown the real vision of the future, more correctly, where his loyal brothers had statues, but he didn't, because the Chaos God. Because that was actually a fairly genius piece of writing, because they didn't lie to him. because they knew he would figure it out if they lied to him. So they just showed him the truth, but didn't tell him everything. That was a good explanation to a mystery, because it gives you more questions. It gives you more things to wonder about. Erda showing up and going like, yeah, no, I actually created the primers. That's not an explanation. That's not a mystery. That's not adding anything. And the problem is, too, in the case of Horus, there was nobody added in to take away Horus's thunder. There was nobody added in to take credit for turning Horus. It was simply Horus doing a thing. In the Emperor, everything he did was actually done by somebody else. Somebody we don't know, somebody we don't care about, and somebody we will never see again.
Yep, and the writers do it because they're, well, the writer in particular wants to deconstruct the Emperor because he doesn't like him because he has a personal bias.
Yeah, in case of ADB, he actively wants to ruin the Emperor. But a lot of this was also done by the other writers who, I don't even know what they were thinking. I'm assuming they came up with their own headcanon and they fell in love with their original characters and then they pushed them over everything else.
That's not uncommon too. A writer picks up someone else's work, and if they're not respective, like, I think it was Wheel of Time. The writer died, right? And then one of his friends picked up his work to try to finish it for him. I don't know if he did anything like that, but you need a writer to pick up where the other writers left off and be respectful for the characters that exist in the way they exist now, rather than trying to deconstruct them and subvert them with their own characters. Because that's what's happening there.
That is modern 40k in a nutshell. It's Belisoria's call in a fucking nutshell.
Where did that character come from, even?
Nowhere. But that's fine. That is fine. All of this is fine because, again, all of this is going to happen to Lord of the Rings in the Reigning of Power. Each and every fucking step of it. Isildur is going to be a brain-dead bitch who gets led around by the nose by his sister. Galadriel's a warrior princess now.
The only difference between GW and the Tolkien universe in this case is GW has access to what is canon and what isn't.
Well, see, that's the thing. Theoretically, they do, but I don't actually think they do. Like the Horus Heresy had no lore Bible. The Horus Heresy had no plan for how it was going to work out. None. Like that's why the characters can radically change their entire personalities book to book, because they didn't write it out. I don't think GW has any real background anymore. I think they're just making shit up as they go.
They probably are. See, that's the thing, right? When you're working on a story or you're working with multiple writers, you need to have a team, and you'd be like, okay, so we have a plot for this character. Her name is, Anne Frank, and she's gonna die, but we need to write it in such a way that it's interesting and her story's very sad and stuff like that. And the other writer's like, okay, what if we have, these bad guys that are trying to hunt her down and stuff like that, and oh, let's work with that, and they work as a team to build a cohesive story. It does feel like the Horus Heresy is just shit out books and see what happens. The first books are pretty strong because they have a clear vision and goal, but as GW wants them to milk this because it's very profitable, it's I don't care what you write, just write something about it so that we can make more money. That's why when I look at Warhammer, I see a very corporate thing, but that's because GW manages to suck the soul out of everything that it touches.
And the only happiness I can get out of it is the knowledge that it'll happen to other people too. Join me, chat. Realize that the only pleasure anyone can ever have anymore is watching other people suffer. This is good. This is how the future should be.
At least somebody in chat got my joke. It was a pretty dark joke, too.
No, Kyle, we're going to ignore that. Because you bring up the little girl in the attic.
Yes, but what did I say about the little girl in the attic?
Nobody. Nothing. You said nothing.
You said nothing. You
shut your mouth hole. Go beneath the stairs Stay there where you belong.
Uh,
Now, let's get into the Super Chats. A shorter episode today because Arch wants to go to bed. And he wants to be happy somewhere else because...
you should
stay up.
inform people.
Arch has had...
No RP tomorrow because Barch is betraying us.
Arch must work. Also, it was Kyle's fault.
Oh, I don't think I can be blamed for this.
Yes, I think you can be blamed for this. So John says, funny how Sony went super woke and full SJW after moving their headquarters to California. Weird, right? Mysterious. Mystifistical. Odd. Confusable. Xeon says, hi Kibs and Arch. Kibs, Legends of Terrestrial Art is looking great. Arch, great video on Neoth the Pointless. Good day to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at that. We're being head patted. Yeah, I do.
Like 1917 says, Square can hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior. Breed Kibs. Arch, would you be willing to play Red Dragon Inn on Tabletop Simulator? Red Dragon Inn.
Red Dragon
Inn.
It's an
Kyle.
I'll Google it. Google Red Dragon Inn board game. Shop Red Dragon Inn. Gloomhaven? Is that related? I don't think
I have found something with sexy barmaids. I'm presuming it's that one.
Red Dragon Inn. It's a $25 board game, but I assume it's also available on Tabletop Simulator because almost every board game is.
Your assumptions are dumb.
I assume it's like the idea is that it's a fantasy setting themed in an inn. Maybe?
I don't know why you would assume that, Kyle. Considering the name, I would assume this was instead some kind of adventure taking part in a spaceship.
Really? That's a very strange assumption to make. He's like, yeah, it's a red spaceship. It looks like a Durgan.
Precisely. It's the Red Dragon spaceship inn.
Here, I'll pull it up for chat. Hold on. I'm gonna find box art. Box art's a bit derpy looking. But there's a lot of different boxes. 2 to 4 players. Average play time is 45 minutes. Allegedly. I assume once you know how to play the game.
So 2 hours at least then.
See, I hate card games, but I see tits, so it's like +2. Wimp wimp. Got real life people.
Goal 82, Arch, fix that damn buzzing humming side your mic picks out. I hear in your recent videos, even something so damn cheap, fix that. Thank you. Don't know how to say this to you, but I think it's your headset that might need fixing.
No, there's actually a bit of a hum. It's very subdued. I didn't want to comment on it until after this stream, but now that it's brought up, it has to be talked about. It's a recent appearance. So I'm not sure if you just need to reboot or something.
Sounds like a you problem.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sounds like a Discord problem, because I listened to a video I did just recently and it didn't have the hum.
It is entirely possible that it is indeed a Discord problem. I can think of several ways that I can tweak Discord in order to encourage it to work better, but we might need to use either my Discord or your Discord, because I believe yours is boosted, and then boost the audio of the channel that's allowed. I don't know if that'll clear it up, but that's the best idea I got.
Failure, Kyle. Failure.
At least I have an idea, you little shit.
So, Jod, isn't it hilarious how blatant it is, how easy it is to dehumanize people, and if you point out how similar it is to the Longnose tribe, they recoil in horror and have the gall to be offended? Well, you know, they could never do the same thing that the Schnazis did, even when they're doing more or less the same thing as the Schnazis did.
Not the Schnazis, no.
History repeats itself mostly because we have no real interest in figuring out what history is. Samuel Eddy says, Dissenter works as a search engine. Dissenter. I mean, I like the theoretical naming there, nothing else.
Sounds a bit edge.
At this point, it's time for a little bit edge.
Increase your edge points. There's a system that actually calls them edge points, but they're fate, basically. It's great. Gotta get edge. Gotta get your edge up.
Pipe Zeta says, have my money botch and use it to continue spreading wisdom. I'll probably use it on snacks, frankly, but I'll try doing the other thing too.
Snacks fuel your wisdom. There you go.
Equals a Jack. Remember everyone going MGTOW as a self-preserving strategy in a corrupt society is misogynies. Sacrifice yourself to fuel those who hate you. See, I remember seeing that meme that everyone thought was very cringe to begin with, where it was like the Chad saying, no, like I'm not going to war to Russia because you've censored me. And I get it. I absolutely get it. I'm not going to go to war with Russia either. And especially not on the demands of Biden. Like, Biden wants to go to war with Russia. Okay, go. Take Kyle. I'll stay here.
The Yanks are coming.
Also, can I simply point out, the foreign fighter people, 90% of those motherfuckers are the cringy ass little bitches. 90% of them. I read an article recently, most of them show up to the border, realize that there's a war on, and that the Ukrainian army won't just let them leave whenever they want to, and they go, but I thought this was a vacation. No, this is not a vacation.
War is not
You're trying to volunteer for a war.
It sounds so romanticized. That's the problem. People, we've forgotten what real war looks like. We're so used to beating the shit out of bumfuck tribe number 2 that we're like, it's all glory. It's like, no, there is no glory when the bombs start dropping.
There was also a recent one with the first volunteer from Britain. He fled. Actually, he didn't get away. He just actually straight up deserted in the face of the enemy. Was captured by the Ukrainians. This one here, and then eventually sent back home as useless. And he was just like, I was fighting in Afghanistan. I don't understand.
I saw this one.
This isn't fair. They had artillery and shit.
Yep.
Like, yes.
He also got captured by the Ukrainians and then interrogated because they thought he was a spy. And then he went home. He was like, yeah, no, it's not going to be so easy. This isn't this. You're going up against one of the world's most powerful nations. Sure, they're incompetent when it comes to like how they're doing the invasion. They're still fucking carrying lethal equipment, though.
Not to mention, too, like, okay, yeah, have the Russians made absolute fool of themselves in many regards? Sure. But you're still some middle-aged dude from fucking England who served like a couple of years in Afghanistan. And now you're going up against the VDV. Like, you do not understand. These are not fucking goat herders. God. Simple. If you're gonna go to Afghanistan to fight for the Ukrainians, okay, that's cool. There's a great deal of honor in that choice. Putting your own life on the line to protect someone else's democracy. I can absolutely respect that.
That is heroic, yes.
Yes, but you must have military experience, you must be fit and in shape, and you must speak fucking Ukrainian.
Yep, because you're volunteering to join with the Ukrainian military forces. Do not be a hindrance to them. You know?
It's so dumb.
Because you're going to cost more people's lives than save at that point.
Oh, Jesus. Like, the article I read, too, about all of these people turning back, one guy was from America, and he was just like, I'd like to volunteer for the Ukrainian army, but I don't want to pick up a gun. I'm going to be a medic. Oh, I'll help the Russians, too, if they're wounded, because I want to save lives. And it's like, motherfucker. One, do you think the Ukrainians are going to be like, oh yes, go save the Russians, they're only trying to invade us? The same time, do you think the Russians are going to be like, oh, he doesn't want to bear weapon, that's good, he's wearing an enemy uniform though?
Yeah, it's one of the problems. Like, I've seen a lot of people like, oh my god, they're committing war crimes, shooting at medics and stuff. It's like, yep, pretty much. I don't know what surprises you. War's always been this conflicted. Like, when the bullets start flying, rules of engagement or blah, 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 the fucking Geneva Convention doesn't mean shit. It's just a piece of paper.
See, that's another thing too, right? Now, a lot of people who were in Afghanistan, right, actual fucking soldiers, they understand this nonsense. A lot of other ones that just sat in a fucking base camp for a couple of years jerking off, they do not understand. Yes, you are bound by the Geneva Convention. You are a Western soldier. You haven't been in an actual war. You've been in glorified fucking policing actions, by and large. The Russians aren't going to give a shit. They're being humiliated right now by Ukraine. They're not gonna care. They're already bombing the fuck out of villages. Why should they go? Oh, he has medic badge though. Don't shoot him.
Yep. It's like the medic trucks when it's like when the chaos of battle's going on. Like I remember this video where the people are like, I can't believe they shot that Ukrainian medical vehicle. It's like, yeah, well, it's still a Ukrainian army medical vehicle. It's an enemy vehicle. They're gonna open fire on it. Like Russian vehicles have already been carrying weapons, and I'm pretty sure that Ukrainian ones probably carry weapons here and there too. Like the war is messy. It's not a pretty thing. It always sounds glorious on paper. People are like glory, honor. There is no glory and honor.
I
Only
also want to point
bloodshed.
out too, it's not against the Geneva Convention to shoot a fucking medic. He's a legit military fucking target. He's a soldier. The only you're not allowed to shoot medical transports, medical trucks, medical ships, hospitals. These are not. You are not allowed to shoot these. The Russians don't care, mind you. But you can shoot medics. Like I don't, even if they're not armed. Oh god, the whole thing with the medic guy pissed me off so much. It's annoyed the hell out of me. I half considered doing like an entire video on this, but it's too personal, and it'll just be me being angry. But it's like, do you think the Russians will just intune this? Like, you're running out in the middle of the battlefield in a firefight, and you're expecting people on both sides to go like, hold on, don't shoot him, Igor. Look, he's not carrying a rifle. God damn it. It's, ugh.
Yep. This is the world we live in.
Much dumb. Anyhow, slight aside. Inquisitor Jack says, don't forget it's election year in the US, so the ideological purges for your safety is kicked into high gear. Those who stop peaceful reform, question mark. That's right, there's midterm soon, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I gotta remind myself not to look at it. It's gonna be everywhere.
Just go vote, Kyle. That's all you need to know.
I mean, I participate in local elections and elections because it's my civic duty to. But beyond that, I already know that I'm only gonna vote for probably one side because there's no point to vote for the other.
I'm just looking forward to 2024 right now because I'm imagining the fucking Orange Man's return like a scene from a hero movie where the hero comes out of like the smoke and the fog with metal music blasting. I imagine the debate. Trump can sit on one side and just look at Biden and go like, so 8% inflation, a world war, and a retreat from Afghanistan.
Now hold on, people have extremely retardedly short memories, so this is one thing to bear in mind. If things can calm down in the next 3 or so years. Or two? What year is it?
2 years, more like.
Okay, I can't remember. Everything's been hell since fucking the coof fucking thing because of my work hours, so nothing feels right anymore. But yeah, so like, it all boils down to how stupid people are. Because never forget that our biggest enemy isn't the opposition; it's the average American voter. Their brains are so remarkably small and tiny and forgetful. They'll forget about last year's problem. They're probably going to forget about the COVID thing. They've probably already forgotten it even existed to begin with. That's the problem. People don't remember shit.
That is the question, but it is, of course, the job of the candidates to bring it up.
Yep, remind them.
So John says, there was Sting catching a ring of CP operating out of Disney World. Brainwashing kids is how ABC people reproduce. I mean, I don't know the specifics about this case, but I do know the leftists will leftist, so...
It's always weird that there's so many pedos on that side of the fence.
It's mysterious. It's almost as if some kind of pattern is emerging, but oh well, details.
It's a bit fucking horrific, if you ask me.
Ushio Koroni for a very generous €20. Thank you very much. Just quickly hopping in to say, keep it up, you two. Always nice hearing things straight from you guys. And I say that as someone really left-leaning, since a lot of news are really biased one or the other way. Keep it up.
Look at
Well,
that. See,
I've got news for you. If you like what we're saying, you're not on the left no more.
No. You're allowed to
You're
be
practically
left.
a right-winger now.
No, Barge, bad.
This is the Overton window, Kyle. You need to recognize it.
It's time to stop being so polarizing. The left does it. We're better than
Fuck
them.
you, Munchkin. No, we're not better. Kyle, no. I have taken a
What do you mean we're not better than them?
stance against this. I've taken a strong stance against this whole, we must be better than them. No. The tools of the enemy are to be used against the enemy.
Yeah, but the enemy are fucking gay.
Yes, and I will use that stick for all it's worth. Because this is the tactic of the enemy, absolutely. The whole thing. Oh, the State of the Union recently, when one Republican booed them, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, how could he? Oh my Jesus, that man must be dragged out in the street and shot." You did the exact same. You did the exact same to Trump. And now we must unify. We can't be divided no more. It's weird how it's always we can't be divided.
I don't know how you're
power.
segueing into that, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying people on the left should be allowed to be leftists if they want to. We should be able to have a discourse with these people. I'm not saying that we shouldn't boo them.
Well, actually, I'm saying we shouldn't
twisting
boo
these
them.
narrative.
I am actually saying we shouldn't boo them. I'm actually saying that during the speech of the Union, no one should fucking speak beyond the president. Because that was the decorum, and it had always been the decorum until like 2008 or something.
Yep, because polarization, it's the problem. We can't be polarized, because the problem with polarizing is it pushes us in other extremes. It pushes us further to the right. It pushes the other guys further to the left. And all of a sudden, everyone's retarded because the horseshoe theory's real. Once you go too far in any which direction, you just become a blithering moron.
Polarization is real, but polarization also needs to happen to... At this point, it's just like, no, you can't preach neutrality. You cannot preach we shouldn't polarize. At some point, you have to take a more strident step to drag the Overton window back to sanity. That is my opinion, and I shall stand by it.
Thing is, we don't need to move. They'll come to us.
Like shit, they will.
They
Like,
already
moved.
are.
No.
No, we haven't done anything. Like, I've know so many left-leaning people that come over and hang out with us now. Because they're like, everyone on my side of the fence is retarded. And I'm like, that's okay. Happens.
Yeah, but those weren't left-leaning. Not by... That's the thing. The definition of left-leaning has changed quite dramatically. They changed that definition.
No, they are the extremists, the ones you're referring to. Those people are just unhinged. They can't be reasoned with. They can't be bargained with. They can't be talked to. They're just gonna waffle on further to the left. Just ignore them.
I agree, Kyle. Scorcher Earth policy is the only option.
Barge, no. Barge, like, we must kill.
Russia had a point. Bring up the fucking Schmerches.
Bad Barge.
Also, seeing the Smirch in actual action makes me feel like Wargame, or Warno more correctly, needs to buff the Smirch, because that thing fucking makes a hole. No, Smirch them. Actually Smirch. Yes. Smirch.
The far left cannot dictate what we are. Do not let them dictate that.
They
Bad
can dictate
Barge.
whatever they want so long as I'm the one with the Smirch.
Bad Barge.
Smirch.
Giving power to the enemy is not okay. Conceding to the enemy is
enemy
worse.
Smirch is not giving up, Kyle.
Barge. Smirch doesn't
Smirch.
exist. It's not real. It's not real.
I feel like there's a Ukrainian building block that might disagree, but
Yes,
very
the
well.
Ukrainians might, but a Smirch for option for us does not exist.
It's because you don't try hard enough.
Just don't try hard. I don't want to commit war crimes.
It's not a war crime, Kyle, unless you lose. Zacharias NA says, a detective voiced. Looks like the victim's swimsuit parts were cut off, put in a woman's dress, and hung from the ceiling. Sound kib. We will be sounding Kib. I am very much so looking forward to the 26th chat. If you're ever going to show up for an ArchCast, you need to show up on the 26th, because we've got, oh my god, it'll be fantastic. Just do it. Don't ask any questions. I won't ruin it, but it'll be great. Inquisitor Jack says Maryland's Senate Bill 669 would prevent law enforcement from investigating infant deaths up to 4 weeks after birth. These people only care about kids if they can use them for pleasure or profit. I did see that bill, yes, and it looked fucking ridiculous. Like, it is unironically the legalization of child murder, which is just, why? Why do you need a bill legalizing the murder of 4-year-old babies? Why? What is the point? See, the smirch option is the option.
There was no option to begin with.
No,
other than
it was only smirch.
Other than Kibism. Now, it's never been freely tried. Oh.
Kibism will be standing close to the smirch too, I think.
I don't think so.
Mark Deshamed says FTL would be unplayable without a pause button. Yes, but FTL is a slightly different game than Elden Rings. Just slightly.
Just a bit.
Germ 70. It is a wonder that games media think they can cover every game with reviewers who don't actually really play the games that they are asked to review. Well, the problem is nobody wants to be a games journalist anymore. Like, that is the dead-endest of dead-endiest jobs. I would like to be a professional writer in the age of the internet. God damn it. Brain tumor. And so they need to spread the handful of reviewers they do have over every title they have. That's simply just how the universe functions. King Yu says, so how long until we breed kids with the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 13? And how much a slap Bunny is on him too in the process? He's already basically agreed to do it at some point. It just needs to happen at some point. That's all. Think of it. He needs to play through the entirety of Final Fantasy.
No. Definitely not. Final Fantasy's garbage.
Marked ashamed. Kibbs, or Arch, preferred Star Wars Empire War mod, Remake, Awakening, or of Rebellion, Thrawn's Revenge, or Fall of the Republic?
Oh.
I don't know.
That's a good one. Hold on. Let me open it up. Star Wars Empire at War. I've got a few.
Alright, I'm gonna watch this fat cat play in the snow while I do that.
Come on, load Steam. There's a lot of Star Wars Empire at War mods. Oh wow, there's fucking more now. Subscribed items. Let's take a look. The ones I played, I do like the this guy's ones, Fall of the Republic. The Thrawn's Revenge one's really good. But I also am a big fan of the Clone Wars era. The Empire at War Expanded Fall of the Republic 1.2. That one's pretty fun. But yeah, there's a lot of really good mods for Empire at War. It's a shame that even, like, there are fantastic mods for this game, but the gameplay, like, the ground combat's just kind of shit in every single one of them. I don't know. It's strange. Bronze is pretty solid, though. Arch, come back. I told him to mount Bjorch.
I'm almost done with watching the fat cat play in the snow. Okay, that's mildly adorable.
Also uploaded most old ones. I mean, fucking Empire War's great. Like, if you can pick it up on sale chat, it for like $10 or $20 or whatever, it's a lot of good content. It's like Battlefront 2 EA. Oh no, Battlefront 2 Pandemic.
Yes, it's like Battlefront 2 EA.
Pandemic. Pandemic.
You little simp.
Pandemics is pretty solid. It's my favorite.
Mark Deshamed also says next Total War Avatar: The Benders. That'd be funny.
Avatar. Oh my god, the Avatar. I don't know if that would work. That'd be weird. There wouldn't be very many factions.
No, it wouldn't work, Kyle. Don't entertain the idea, Kyle. Just shut your little trap and accept the fact that it was a joke, Kyle.
But, like, what if we did get one, though?
No. See, Avatar, like, okay, see, the first Avatar with Aang was fucking good shit. There's no denying that.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit too childish on occasion, which is a retarded critique, really, when you think about it, because it's a fucking kids show, but even so.
It's pretty cleverly written, though, yeah.
But honestly, like Korra, season 1 of Korra had the potential to be even better. If only they had actually explored this idea of the differences in social status between benders and normal people. That was a really cool thing because obviously there'd be fuck tons of frictions. Half of your society has fucking superpowers, and only they can do the majority of the advanced jobs, and the others are fucking plebeians. They're normal people who can't be police officers, can't be like welders, can't be fucking builders, etc., etc. It was a really cool concept. And then they just went like, but Korra, you're our avatar too. Me, 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 me. Fuck you.
Yeah. Korra went down the drain though because the other writers didn't know what they were doing. It might have also been a bad that I think the lead left after the first Airbender series.
Korra shouldn't have had any more seasons. It just shouldn't. It didn't get better. Drain. It only was worth. And that's a shame too, because Korra was Delicious Brown Girl, and I do like Delicious Brown Girl, and she was Delicious Brown Girl with abs too. I didn't mind that either.
I'm the Airbender, and you gotta deal. I don't remember. I'm Avatar. Yes. You gotta deal with it.
That was the dumbest intro I have ever fucking seen, but oh well. And I did hate the romance. God, I hated the romance so much because, all right, so you know your best friend is in love with this chick, and you choose to bang her behind his back, and this entire conflict is resolved with a sorry, bruh.
Sorry, bruh. You can have the sloppy seconds. It's like, wow.
God, I hated that so much. Oh, fuck me.
That's funny. I thought you liked NetherRare. I like that you liked NTR.
It wasn't even NTR. If it actually been full on NTR, I'd be like, okay, I can appreciate this to some degree. But it wasn't even that. Like, oh.
He was though.
Oh my god, I hated that so much.
Look at Barch.
I mean, I don't even mind that she turned into a muff diver, because it's like, okay, she only had contact with Asami afterwards. All right, fair enough. Like, she was going through her hardest time possible, and Asami was the only one there for her, and she turned into a lesbo. Okay, cool. You know what? I can get that. I wish they'd done it on screen instead of off screen, and then suddenly was like, yes, I like pussy now. But, okay, fair enough. At least it was a better romance than the fucking first one.
The best part about this show is this is a kid's show. Like, they shouldn't be going into these romances because it's just fucking weird.
No. I disagree, because was it a kid show?
It was aired for kids.
Not truly. Like,
no, truly it was, because the whole purpose of that show was to sell toys. That's it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a kid's show. Like, even if you claim the purpose was that it was a kid's show, and even if it was billed as a kid's show, etc.
And it was aired to kids.
Yes, I get that, but it wasn't a kid's show, because the realities of the show is not a kid's show.
But I'm not arguing that. It was made and produced for children.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like, children can absolutely deal with some darker things. And romance, too, is not a problem, so long as you keep the romance to the kid-friendly stuff. Like, they huggy and they kissy, instead of, oh, yes, now we're gonna have some gay sex, boys. Oh, no. But kids like dark shows. This is why the original Batman was so fucking good. That was a kid show, but it was dark.
Good, we have fan art. I'm stealing it from my server, but Barch is in it. And I don't know what kind of drugs this fan art is made on. What the fuck? I like how we got Bobette, and you got, I think, Boog, and then there's Aerith, and then there's Barch.
I don't even know what you're going on about, because you haven't sent it anywhere,
I'm posting it both here.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I gotta say.
I do know who made it, though, because there's literally only one person who makes that.
Yep, it's Matthias. I heard the gasp when you saw the second one. Next one, chat. This one I don't get. I have no idea why. It's just Barch is falling. He looks concerned. It reminds me of like early 2000s. Like it's got the weird colory bits going on.
It's an acid trip. Here, how's a Batman? Right. Rather than getting distracted, PBR. Oh god, I'm on YouTube. No, stop it. PBR Street Gang says Tolkien Society, downvote, downvote. Yes. Tolkien Society will be Lord of the Rings. It will die.
Actually, Tolkien Society doesn't own Lord of the Rings, though.
Shh.
It's like it's the same thing that one Twitter account made. BattleTech community, and they put an LGBT camera and symbol in their fucking profile picture, and they claim that they're the BattleTech community. And they're like, we're inclusive. And then they blocked me. They blocked Razor. They blocked everyone else in the BattleTech community.
Yeah, but the difference is Tolkien Society is an actual society. Like, it's actually massive, and it does actually have a lot of influence within the fandom.
Yes, but
like, it's not a made-up thing. It's actually something with thousands of members, and members who pay them, too, mind you.
Do they own anything Tolkien-related? I don't actually know.
Actually, yes. They've bought a bunch of archive stuff, a bunch of original manuscripts and stuff. They don't own any IP stuff, but they are a proper fan society. It's just that they're also woke as shit.
Except they're mega cringe and need to be elitist from the internet.
And of course, like all wokeist groups, they do put their politics over Tolkien. It's inevitable. Whenever you become woke, you will place woke at the top because woke demands to be at the top.
Yep. I mean, I've seen it with any sort of political group or political entity will do that. It's just their nature. They're cancers is what they are. Tumors.
Mark Shame says, a line from Star Trek to New Generation. It is possible to not make a single mistake and still lose. That's how Big E should have been written. Yes, that is how Big E should have been written. Big E should have been the god of humanity, essentially, fighting against the gods of chaos. Like, it should be two incredibly brilliant forces butting heads. That should be how it should have been portrayed.
Titanic. And yeah, that's true about the whole thing, like him not losing. Like, they should have handled the Horus Heresy, like, these problems are falling into his lap, but everything he's tackling, he's absolutely plastering the floor with.
Yeah, it should have been 4D chess versus 4D chess. Like, everything should have revealed underlying plans and stratagems and stuff. Like, that's how it should have been done, but it wasn't because dumb.
It's also the problem that the writers are too incompetent to actually write that.
Convincing Reality says, just waiting for the two missing Primarchs to emerge from the warp and be strong, independent women that make the universe peaceful through diplomacy. Wouldn't be surprised at this point. Mark Ashamed. Horus Heresy sucks. Dawn in Heresy is way better. Nurgle succeeds where Korn failed. Sandoom. Arch, the latest stuff from the Emperor is just a plot of the Chaos Gods because they know they can't beat, so they just smear him with falsehood like the SJWs. Maybe. That'd be funny if nothing else. Aussie95. Hail, Arch and Kibbs. First time super chatting to the stream. How would you like to see Fulgrim Redemption? I would like to see the perfect clone of him. Be you if the clone still exists. Cheers. I believe the clone was destroyed and or captured. Honestly, again, the Fulgrim thing, they had it in the bag. The Fulgrim Redemption arc was locked down with the painting. The painting was a brilliant idea because it was horrifying. It was scary as shit. It was one of those body horror moments of eternal torment. And it also opened up for a really cool redemption arc. And then they destroyed it all. It was... fuck me. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. I refuse. Black 1917. Sony was, or more likely had, already gone woke while they were still in Japan, but had to keep it hidden since that ideology and the hostile attitude that comes with it aren't really tolerated there. Good. Move to Japan. Become Japanese. Eat the seaweed.
Eat the seaweed.
ITW. Play War of the Rings. If your TTS series.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know either.
What do you say? War of the Rings?
Let me think. Mark Ashamed. When Antifa volunteers meet Azov wearing the Black Sun badge, I would pay to see what happens. Oh, I'm sure they would yell at them for being Nazis, and then they'd get shot. Sandoom says 2024, glorious return of God Emperor Trump. I mean, honestly, it seems like a campaign he couldn't possibly lose. The amount of ammunition the Biden administration has handed to him. But then again, I couldn't fucking believe that Trump would lose in 2020 either. Like, I genuinely could not believe that Sleepy Biden would pull out a win. And since we are on the platform we are, it was a legitimate win, of course. And nobody has questioned otherwise ever since.
That's true.
Lifeman1234 says, I'm already annoyed they delayed Advance Wars 1+2 because it's too similar to the war somehow. I know. Advanced Wars, Ukraine simulator.
Oh, I mean, the problem is it was going to be on the Switch. I mean, like, I would like it on the PC. It's a cool little turn-based game.
Slut.
It's a good game from, like, childhood.
I don't care about your childhood, Kyle.
I do.
It's disgusting. Don't bring that up again.
Fantastic.
Disturbing.
You're just mad. Everything I've said has always been truer to the point than anything you've said in your entire life, Barge. How's it make you feel? Sad, defeated, broken? Both?
No, it makes me feel like you're a sad, disgusting fat man.
Damn. Wish I was fat. It means I'd have a lot of food. Hopefully it'd be good food.
DJ Coolthing says the US consulate in Erbil, Iraq was just hit with long-range missiles. I saw that, and I don't know who the hell was behind that, but that was certainly something.
Huh.
I doubt it was the Russians. It's like Russia's like, false flag Ukraine, they bombing the US embassy. That'd be funny, but still.
Oh my god.
Oh god, the constant accusations of false flags in that war. Oh, I cannot wait till like 4 or 5 years afterwards when we're starting to actually gain legitimate facts as to what the fuck was going on. Like that random Russian drone that was launched from inside Ukraine on the western border and landed or crashed in like Croatia. What the fuck?
That's a bit strange.
Very strange.
Oh god. But hey man, you know, I'm sure once this is all settled, right? The dust is settled, the war is over, whatever. Eventually the truth
it was
will
some
start coming out.
drunk ass Ukrainian who thought to himself, ha ha ha, this will be kinda funny.
Well, was it?
I know. Marcus James says Inquisitor Arch is now confirmed radical. So which sect? Horizon? Smirch. The sect of Smirch. So Sean, Arch's fall from a conservative Inquisitor to a radical Inquisitor is progressing nicely. I'm telling you, the Smirch will rise.
The Smirch.
The Smirch will
you and
fix
your
things.
fucking Smirch. Somebody's gonna
Smirch
smirch you.
The Smirch will be the solution to most of our problems. It's true, too. Show me a problem that can't be fixed by pointing a smirch at it.
But why?
You literally can't.
Why not?
Zagreus NA says, I will never question you, Arch Lord or Law, sounder of kibs and king of dog whistles. May your warm smile grace us all for many days. Also, sound kib.
But why?
Because you deserve it.
I don't think so.
Dollar82 says, Vermintide 2, all its DLC is on sale, worth buying. I mean, if you like that style. For me, it got very grindy very quickly, but I mean, if there's all the DLC, you can run through all the missions, so you'd probably get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah, but you don't want to do it with a friend, in regards to Vermintide 2, or Vermintide 1, or either one. Because those games by yourself are fucking awful.
How dare you, Kyle?
Boring. Those games are multiplayer games.
How dare you? And Boag says, the reason the God Emperor lost is because he forgot to secure Imperium integrity. So when Chaos stopped the Primarch counting at 2 a.m., it was all lost. Bug. You will be PvP'd in Zomboid.
To death, even. The day of boom.
Hero U45 says, Arch, we are already in cyberpunk dystopia, except without the cool cybernetics. I have proof when Domino's Pizza was fixing potholes in the road. Domino's Pizza will rule the restaurant industry, not Taco Bell. Ah, Demolition Man. Kyle, have you not watched Demolition Man yet?
I bought it. I'm gonna watch it. I was getting
Bitch-ass
through.
nibber.
I'm getting through all the Arnold movies that I never saw. Like we watched Commando the other day, which was funny.
Yeah, but Demolition Man is so fucking good. Like, what you should do is you you should do one of those cringe ass fucking watch alongs for Demolition Man, where you set up like a room where people can you set up like a timer so people know where you are in the movie. Like I see the VTubers do that. That's what you should do. Kyle.
Do like a watch along thing. We could do that, and then we'll all sit in the Discord and watch it. But nobody will know that. Be a secret.
Sweetheart.
Oh.
That's dumb.
It's not dumb. It's
Hop and
true.
Hop says it's finally going to be above freezing here next week in the Great White North of Minnesota. Happy day for the next week. Oh, here's some cash. Keep up with the Lord videos. Thank you very much, sir. And last one, Convincing Reality. Did the recent tech demo of a Smurf putting on armor tip the scales for you to buy one Plus Arch? Oh, you mean GW ripping off a fan animation from 2007 or so? No, not really, no. If anything, it solidified my boycott of that particular fucking ass-backward service.
Damn. Brutal, but true.
But true.
Fuck them.
It's a very, very dumb thing, and it should be very, very ashamed of itself. That is simply just the fact and the truth of the situation from where I sit. Now, with all of that being said and done, we will wrap up another ArchCast. Again, no RP tomorrow because of Kyle.
No, because of Barch.
Kyle.
You can't fucking segue out of your
I can segue out of this. Have a good day, everyone.
Liar.
Good night.